Hello, everybody. So this is actually going to be a short. I was not intending on making anything at the moment, but then I ran across this and it's hilarious. I'm going to let you listen to what this woman says, and I want you to understand what's happening. So when I first heard about the deportations and stuff, I kind of figured, like, I made a jokey video about this too, like, oh, they're going after all races. You guys think this is a joke? Now, the reason why the spotlight was on Hispanics is because they're the biggest demographic of immigrants in this country. But there are all types of immigrants, and I'm going to show you when I say it's going to come around and bite you all, listen to what I'm telling you, especially with the programs. People didn't realize apparently DEI is veterans and single moms and all type of stuff. All type of stuff other than African American. So watch this.
Just got another letter from Immigration Services. I've made a video about this before, but I'm a U.S. citizen, born and raised in Tennessee, went to college at University of Kentucky, met my husband there. He's an immigrant. He moved over to the U.S. for college on an athletic scholarship from England.
From England. LOL.
We've been married almost 3 years now. We're coming up on 3 years. So you would think he is well on his way to achieving his citizenship, or at least having his green card, right? No, wrong. And why can't he get his green card? Because his medical records aren't complete. And what is...
Now, I'm going to show you something very ironic real quick. Now, if you pay attention to MAGA was anti-vaccines, COVID's not real, and Trump was all on board for talking about injecting bleach and taking it as a joke. Just thought it was a big major joke. Now watch what his administration is doing to people.
Missing from his medical record? The COVID vaccine. Like, it is the year...
If you're an immigrant and you're not vaccinated, they're not passing your U.S. citizenship, and they will deport you. How hilarious is that? Like, I can't make this up. Remember Fauci's bad vaccines, blah, 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 blah. And now if you don't got your vaccine, you get deported.
2025, and we are still requiring the COVID vaccine. You can see it right here. It's backwards. Disregard. Complete the COVID-19 vaccine.
The reason why this is hilarious is because she's a famous MAGA personality. She's actually been on stage with Trump before. And she ran her mouth about the trans people, how they're not people, and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And I told you, in terms of those communities, when it comes to me, I teach people the medical side. Now, just as a warning, you see this new administration that came up, and these people need all types of medical attention, from hormones to everything else. Life-threatening care. And now with this new administration, where are they going to get the care? Who's going to help them? You know what I mean? Then I've seen a bunch of videos on detransitioning and switching back about how it's such a heavy burden and people weren't warned of all the medical issues from it. Constant medical issues. And so I respect people's pronouns, and if they want to be called this and that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I want people respecting me. You know what I mean? But this lady has been mad disrespectful, and it came back and smacked her in the face. Another thing I'm seeing is a lot of immigrants and Hispanics talk about they didn't know this was happening, and ICE showing up at schools and jobs and everything else. I've been trying to warn people on these videos. The wickedness people put out is the same wickedness that's going to come back and bite them in the ass.
And here's an example of a man whose wife has been deported.
They turned off the cameras, excuse my language, and then they took my wife.
This man, who wished not to be identified, says his wife is from Venezuela and has lived in the United States for a few years. She was one of 3 people taken from this home. I'm told the 2 others were men who worked in construction. You see them here. This video, only 1 minute and 52 seconds long. We do not see his wife being removed from the home. But this is a picture of her that he keeps in his wallet. Her name is Juannie Ramirez, and he says she was in the process of becoming a...
Damn. Sorry, brother. I think I'm going to name this video FAFO. Fuck around and find out.
What's the end goal here? Because the U.S. government cannot possibly believe that this is sustainable. This ghetto-ass planet stresses me out so much that I feel like my heart is going to explode. They've raised asshole. Like, what the fuck, man? People are getting absolutely bulldozed on their taxes. We have to pay taxes on everything that we buy. Taxes already come out of our paychecks, and then we have to pay more taxes at the end of the year. Our tax dollars are funding mass unalivings everywhere, and for what? Resources that they would rather steal than ethically source. Zero gun control, so good luck making it home alive from anywhere that you go. It's just a risk that you'll have to take so that your children can receive a half-ass education where they now want to shove religion down their throats while you go to a job that barely pays your bills. Women no longer have bodily autonomy, and I was going to say that we're rapidly reaching the point of reintroducing slavery, but the reality is slavery never ended. It only evolved, and we're all fucking...
Yeah, I was going to say people really understand slavery once suppression spreads through its borders and begins to affect other communities. Because, you know, something I hear a lot, which I find interesting, is one thing I've heard is get your own culture. Okay. Well, then after that, once a person or a group gets their own culture, one thing I hear a lot is reverse racism. It's not about color, all colors, blah, 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 blah. Let me explain. When you play video games, you know, you got the Korean community, the Chinese community, the Japanese community, the edgelord, Caucasian American community. You got all the different communities. If you get a bunch of African Americans looking for other African Americans, they will then tell you in the chats, it's not about color, and that's racism. I find that really odd. But one other thing I like to point out is people never understood the disparities before. They kept telling people, oh, get a job. Oh, make more money. Oh, this is supposed to be an entry-level position. Go to college. Well, shoes on the other foot.
Slaves. I can barely focus on being a mother because I have to spend every moment of my life focused on how much money I can make. Meanwhile, it's Taylor Swift this and Kim Kardashian that. I don't fucking care, bro. I just want some quality of life.
Don't get me wrong. I love being single and I love living alone. It's great. It's fantastic. But fuck, it's expensive. I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all four brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the fuck. And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500, so I just blew $1,100 in like 3 hours, and it wasn't even like fun, you know? Fuck. Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. Like, you work and 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 you work, and it's just to pay off like your basic necessities.
One thing I can tell people is I'm going to explain the power. Something interesting I brought up the other day is the year of the snake. I was born in '89. One thing I wanted to bring up is that I'm gonna explain how oppression spreads, right? Let's say you have a marginalized group of people who's constantly complaining about something. And as those people are complaining about something, and they're the minority, so they don't hold any true power, the people around them are constantly telling them it's not true. You know, work harder, and or back in the olden days, they were actually attacking and causing harm. Well, when elites see this and they see this quality of life for the subgroup of people, what ends up happening is when they get enough power, they can do it to more groups of people. And so now we'll have an institution where people be like, oh, it's too hard. I don't like retirement age. I don't like this. They'll be like, bum, lazy, blah, blah, blah. They'll call you names, right? Or be like, I'm not into that conspiracies, blah, blah, blah. But then as it begins to happen to everybody, now the people no longer have power and people have to just figure it out, right? Because people have been complaining about this for a long time, and other people was just sitting back and still mocking.
And you can't, like, in this city that I live in, public transport, please. If I were to do public transport, it's like asking to get raped, and I really shouldn't be crying because now I have to go to another work event.
If I gather myself to get on a bus, I'll get R-worded. Are you kidding me? It's like little princesses crying on camera. I'm telling you all, when you see, like, it's propaganda with the Rosie lady with the bandana and she's got the wrench in her hand, and women are just so strong and men are just so bad. It's all propaganda. All humans have the capability. My mother had 6 children, 7 children. She worked her ass off all our lives and we never won it because of how hard she worked. I see other people, dude, have 1 child and lose their minds. I can't explain it, man. It's just how it is. And the reason why the age of information is important is because now it's being shown in the open, and now everybody can see where the true strength lies.
And now I'm gonna be all puffy. I'm just... Living is so expensive. Just keeping yourself alive and floating is so expensive. And what I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted.
And what I was trying to tell people in my videos is that America was never rich. America was never wealthy. I'm going to explain something. America was founded on servantry, theft, and slavery. So all the products America had were inflated. They were for free. It was stolen land. And then after they stole the land, they enslaved a bunch of people, Native Americans and African Americans. And then they made them do all their crop work, all their production, all their everything. And then people became rich and wealthy and their families spread out and became millions and millions of people, plus other people coming from different countries. But now, since there is no more slavery, people have to do their own work and they're losing their minds. It's a subtle system of once slave owner, once perpetuator, now becoming like that which they created.
Is if I were to take public transport here, especially for my job requires a car. I have to have a bunch of shit that I have to look.
So like when people say money make money, because she has the assets to own a car, now she can go do things and make financial money. Because these corporations have money, they can plaster advertising all over the television and program people to feel a certain way. Even the African American community. What do you see? There's certain rap videos, there's certain songs, there's certain movies. Movies like Poetic Justice and the movie where Tupac, what's the name of that movie? Oh, I'm about to lose my card. Where he basically shot his homie and he started going crazy with that revolver, with that gun. There's a lot of movies like that. Our programming, what they have fed to us has been pure ignorance. Now, I'm not saying it's ignorance in the sense that they're bad artists. I'm saying that the entire system is corrupt. You look at an African American or people of color and you don't think scientist. You don't think lawyer. You don't think doctor. You don't think educator. People instantly think negativity. And that's where the true subconscious racism lies. Even our own community can be affected by it when we believe in it and live a certain lifestyle and become molded like the world.
With me for work. And I can't do that with public transport. I'm venting. Inflation sucks.
You guys will bring up DEI a lot, which it used to be called affirmative action. African Americans were never given the same chance as other humans. We go to jobs and they look at us, and if they already have their affirmative action, it's like, you're not what we're looking for right now. We're busy. We don't have the blah, 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 blah. Imagine all in your face, everybody's telling you it's equal, you're not working hard enough. And then every job you go to apply to, they basically tell you they're not hiring. They tell you you're not what they're looking for. That's what was happening in America. Or you try to go get loans, you try to go get homes, or you try to go be a part of anything. Segregation was happening in the 60s and 70s. That's barely 50 years ago, 60 years ago.
Just living in America sucks. Living alone sucks. It's great, but it sucks. Because you have to front all the expenses by yourself.
Did you just hear what she just said? You have to front all of your expenses by yourself. Who else would say that besides somebody who's either rich or owns people? Who else would front your bills? This is the unaware Like when it says like the clouds in the sky and stuff like that, this is the unawareness people possess. Like I just don't understand it. You got people begging for jobs and equality. And then you got the people that have it that are like, I have to do this. Like I can't make this up, dude.
I need a husband just so that I can live. So he can split the bills.
Somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right fucking now. Because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits? What the fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is happening? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work? Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat? Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat? Because SNAP benefits is all we fucking get.
The question is, where in her unawareness bubble do she not think there's a bunch of people that can't eat and survive? This is what I'm telling y'all when I say they will go and live a life and clown everybody around them and not care. And as soon as they lose something, boom, me.
I need somebody to please fucking tell me he's lying. I can't. What the fuck am I gonna do?
Man, somebody go get that girl phone, man. Get that girl off the floor. If this girl don't quit, it's the tears, man. It's like if y'all don't quit playing.
Oh, fuck.
I see trying not to laugh. I could see it. Hey, y'all remember back in the day the whoopings when you would get a whooping and you would be on the floor like, I'm sick of being. Hey, that's when you grabbed the belt. She grabbed the belt and got the extra hit. But no matter what, no matter how much clowning and acting she do, she always gonna keep that breath of life in mind. You heard it. I heard they was sending bags of rice over Korea for $1. So if she don't get up off the floor with them name brand clothes or them clothes on, right? See, this is what I mean when I say people just, it's unreal. They even got food pantries, like for the love of, I'm not gonna play. It's just sometimes people are so used to being daddy's little princess that when they gotta grow up, they FAFO. And this isn't completely so. While this is a majority, because while people keep saying it's not about race, it's always been about race. It's a racist country. I watched a movie where a black man, a service or whatever he was, gave 2 black children a ride on a horse and carriage. And when the massa or the white man found out, they hung the black dude. That's what life was like back then. These tears do not move us. They bring pleasure.
You wouldn't be surprised at what's going on right now. As a white person, if you listened to the black community, if you listened to indigenous communities, you would not be surprised at all. But there's this idea that we know better, and it lands on both sides of the aisle, on both sides of the spectrums.
Facts, because there's some African-American Candace Owens. Ooh, she gonna FAFO real quick. But they on both sides. We call them Uncle Toms and some other names. I ain't trying to get in trouble. Some house ninjas.
Alt-right Republicans, fucking Yahtzees, think they know the best way. Some white leftists, communists, think they know the best.
True, and I'm gonna explain something real quick. I heard somebody recently say sometimes rich leftists can be the most racist. And what comes to mind is all these like rich politicians who like wear all this blue. And I remember on one of the holidays, Nancy Pelosi and all them, they put on like some dashikis and did like this they did like a knee thing to the American flag. It was so funny. But anyways, the point is, I'm gonna explain what I mean. One time I witnessed somebody saying why they weren't into being a trans person. They was just like, it's not for them. And one of the people told them, and I've heard this said to me too, but one of the people told them, as a black person, how can you feel like that? And I'm explaining what I mean. Throughout life, you're going to hear people all the time say, it's not about color. We don't see color, which is a complete lie. That's a scapegoat, or that's a coping mechanism. It's totally been about color. That's all it's about. And so, well, in this country, that's how they've been acting. And they also have a problem with certain, like Russia and China. It's like a reflex or something. I don't even know, because I think they were allies ultimately in World War II, but then something happened. So then what you have is people will say things to you like, as a black person, that's not fair. Or what if they did that to black people? Or don't you remember slavery? They don't like bringing up slavery or no slavery until they have to use it. They'll say, what if that happened to slaves or blacks or do? You know what I mean? And you can see their blatant unawareness and racism right then and there. It's like, because racism and those different words aren't associated to a color. They're words that exist. And so, yes, African Americans can be racist, but I don't like when people completely ignore the political environment and the nature of this country and then jump straight to African Americans and go, oh, we're the racists. They're foolish. They're ignorant. And so, or like Michael Jackson said on South Park, that's ignorant. No, blanket, that's ignorant. But anyways, the point is, racism is everywhere, but it's on both sides of the spectrum. And you can tell, because a lot of people then freak out and be like, well, what do I do to not be racist? See, you're doing too much. A racist is somebody that don't like somebody else and constantly blames them and oppresses them. If you don't do that, you're not a racist. It's not your job to jump through hoops to help black people. But it's not your job to jump through hoops to point out everything we do wrong and to come against us. It's your job to live your life and protect your loved ones.
Wait. But the point is, there are communities that have been through this shit for centuries because of us. And they
accountability. Thank you.
Can see what the fuck is going to happen before we do. Being in the oppressor class, we operate with such a massive amount of privilege that we're going to miss a whole fuckload of things. You would not be surprised at how this shit is playing out. Again, if you listened to black and indigenous communities and other communities of color that saw this shit coming 250 fucking miles away.
Okay, so before I show you this video in particular, this is what was really starting to upset me. I saw like a lot of people in the Arab community and the Palestinian community attacking Kamala and talking about Biden and starting to vote for Trump. Just so y'all know with that, it was at the point where I saw like Arab people coming to these factories like at Master Brand and different places, and they were being given jobs and stuff and being allowed to be a part of the community. And it's been happening a long time ago in different Hindu communities and Arab communities. They have whole Muslim towns. And so I just was confused at that, because because Trump signed a Taliban deal. He basically said it to where he signed the deal, but he said it to happen 2 years from that point to when Biden was in office. So Biden inherited this deal. He allowed all these different people that was working with the United States under Trump, like it's amazing, under Trump at the time, to come back here to have safe haven and to live here and have a good life. A lot of those people then went because of Palestine, which had nothing to do with Biden. I'm telling y'all, because of AIPAC and a lot of these lobbyists and rich people that was running around. But anyways, so then they started voting for Trump. They are now all being sent back into lands that enact Sharia law. Like, that's sad.
Before I get into this video, I need everybody watching this to acknowledge that Palestinians did not elect Trump into office. Palestinians didn't vote for Trump except for a minority of Palestinians in Michigan. I made multiple videos critiquing Trump before his election, like this, and many more on my page if you look on my Instagram and my TikTok. And
she's lying. She went on a rampage on Kamala and split the community up.
All the hatred pointed at Palestinians for Trump's win should be pointed at the people who actually voted for him, not the people who just didn't vote for Kamala, because we did not cause him to win.
We have the voting numbers now. We saw whatever community voted for. Like, so it's funny.
Now we can get into it. Trump is a fucking psychopath. You can say I told you so, but we did not want him to win. I never said anybody but Kamala. I simply said I'm not voting for Kamala.
I said this in a video. Everybody that split the vote, just like the African Diaspora channel, like Phil, that one dude, right? When you split a major vote to a Green Party, the only thing you're doing is destroying the other candidate. Green is not gonna win. They don't have the support. But some people don't mentally understand that for some reason. It has never happened in U.S. history.
I'm also not voting for Trump. His first week of office, he's already pulled out of the Paris climate deal, pulled out of the United Health Organization, or is trying to, made various threats about deportation.
Want to know something else? He banned Muslim countries last time. You guys are Muslim. Duh.
Criminalization of refugees. And worst of all, he's talking about clearing out Gaza. The good news is he said that he was going to clear out Gaza and send them to Jordan and Egypt, and Jordan came out immediately and said, we are not taking these people because
their own other Arab nation said no. Like, what the and then they still blame black people.
They're staying in their home. A lot of people are asking, well, what do we do now? We're going to keep doing what we were doing before. Protest, protest, protest. Literally use...
No, because when black people protested because of George Floyd, you should see some of their videos. It's hilarious.
Words clean out Gaza, which is what was happening before anyway, but just...
Remember what they call Black Lives Matter? Who was advocating for Palestinians on camera for over 5, 6, 7... rappers on camera advocating for the Muslims. Malcolm X. Over 60 years ago.
Hearing it so straight up is very scary. Biden started a job. Trump seems like he is bound to finish it. But this doesn't feel different yet than what we've experienced before. I'm not just saying...
Biden started a job. Trump's the one that signed the Taliban deal. Trump's the one that was in office when all this stuff was going on with Palestine. Then Biden gets in office and tries to fix it all, and they blame him. He's letting all these people come in and find safe haven, and they still blaming him. The girl is obviously suffering from mental health issues.
And I wish Trump was not in office. Biden and Trump are two sides of the same coin, except Trump will say it out loud, and Biden will do it sneaky style while being lame.
Blaming the man that let her I can't make this up. Look at her hair. Look at her face, all the makeup she's wearing. She has watched one too many Disney princess movies, and now she hates herself, just like Candace Owens.
I want peace for everyone. It's scary. I'm mostly scared about the immigration. There's a lot of resources on how to protect immigrants, which I'm going to start posting more on here. Palestinians are scared, and Palestinians are not to blame. So...
they're not to blame. They're I can't make this shit up, man. Oh, my fuck. So you know who she's going to blame. Why do you think she's on an African Diaspora channel?
We're going to see what happens, and we're going to keep fighting like we've been forever. Also, this man is literally a Zionist. Like, all of these anti-Palestinian videos he makes is to make people hate Palestinians and support Zionism. Before I get into this video, I need everybody watching this to acknowledge that Palestinians did...
Yes, you did, Maya, because not voting for Kamala Harris is the reason why Trump is in office. You said you wasn't voting Kamala Harris and you're not voting Trump, so you refused to vote. And refusing to vote is what caused Trump to do this to people in Gaza. Did you know that you got a ceasefire at the last minute from Joe Biden only for Trump to want to turn around and revoke that? Joe Biden, They were the ones who got that ceasefire deal. Now Trump wants to revoke. Yes, you cannot sit here and absolve yourself and say, well, because I didn't vote for Trump or I didn't tell people to vote for Trump, it's not my fault. Kamala Harris had great policies. Whether or not you didn't like some of them, it would have helped other people. You only think about Gaza's and Palestinian. You don't think about the minorities that are now going to be affected under Trump's presidency. There you go again, only thinking of yourself. You were anti-black. You caused black women to be attacked. That one woman got attacked constantly in her videos because of your post. And you want to sit here and say like, oh, it wasn't me. Oh, I didn't do that. Yes, you did, Maya. You're the reason why minorities are being targeted now. Why there's mass deportation, because you said you wasn't going to vote at all. Not voting at all is the reason why we are here. The reason why it's happening to your people in Gaza. You would have never known what Kamala Harris would have done if you would have used your brain. It doesn't make sense. You vote Kamala Harris or you allow Trump to get into office, either or. There was no third party. There was no not choosing to vote. You had to vote Kamala Harris. That's all minorities asked. You caused black women to get attacked. You're anti-black. You literally don't care. You want to absolve yourself of being the problem, but you are the main reason why. Where's Jill Stein? Ask yourself that. She's not here. She's nowhere. She's silent. You want to come back and absolve yourself and say, I'm not the reason why Trump is in office. Okay, well then if you didn't vote, 20 million people didn't vote.
Trump is a fucking psychopath. You could say I told you so, but we did not want him to win. I never said anybody but Kamala. I simply said I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm also not voting for Trump.
Baby, stop the gaslighting. You're not trying to have no conversation for real. You got your comments off. You're not trying to see the comments. You just running your mouth. This is what happens when you are a pseudo-activist, okay? When you only make money off of putting videos out, fear-mongering your community. Because this only affects people that are in Gaza. If you live in America, a lot of these Palestinians, I'm going to be honest with you, they don't give a damn unless they got actual family members over there. That's just me being real. And shit, probably then they still don't care because they live in America. But to have the conversation, the reason why you got to vote within your interests. And if we put the interest on the board in front of someone like Maya, okay, we've seen 4 years of Trump. We've known Trump's past when it comes to minorities and how he sees minorities. We've seen that. We also understood Kamala Harris's position, right? She's the vice president. She can't do anything. She doesn't have the power to stop anything that's happening over in Gaza right now, right? Or she didn't have anything, right? Trump has been president, and we've seen how he treats minorities when he is president. Okay? You got to vote within your interests. There was nothing Trump or Jill Stein had that was within your interest. That is a fact. They were just fear-mongering the whole time. They didn't present a plan. They didn't present anything.
Lately, I have seen a lot of videos of black people making fun of Mexicans for what's happening right now with Mexican people. I have also seen black people make videos talking about Mexicans. Don't come to us for help because we're not helping. First of all, Mexicans are not alone. They have Honduran people. They have Salvadorian people. They have Guatemalan people. They have Nicaraguan people and a whole bunch of other countries.
Does anybody know why any of those people can comfortably live in the United States? Anybody? It don't take long. A simple Google search can help you understand. You don't need black people. See, and I think this is funny because now I'm a black dude sitting on my couch, and I see him talking about why we don't like him, but he's the one talking shit. That's what you call true gaslighting.
That are willing to join forces with the Mexican people. Black people. What makes you think that Mexicans are going to come running to y'all for help? What?
Do you not remember the Alamo? Do you not know what these motherfuckers have done to y'all borders? If it was not for us, they might have took Mexico too. But we stopped an institution of slavery and been strong.
4, y'all black people can't even help yourselves. That's wild.
Whoopsies. Ah, you get.
Mexican people are hardworking people. Mexican people stick together. They make it work. That's the total opposite of a black person.
Now, look, we've been advocating for equality. We've been doing the civil rights. We've been trying to survive in this hellhole, Candyland, Nazi land. Now, the other faction is coming after them. And these people still blaming us. If we ghettoing in the hoods, how do we have any power to affect your life?
You want to call me racist? Go right ahead. I'm just keeping it real.
I don't think he's racist. I think he's uneducated.
Like I said, Mexican people are not alone. They have all of us. What makes you think that a Mexican will say, oh, okay, well, we have the blacks. Let's go to them. Come on now.
He's a lie. I have so many Hispanic friends. And the fact that they're Hispanic is just because that's what they call Hispanics. They humans. I got hella friends. I could give a fuck less what somebody is. But people like him all over the world are hell-bent on keeping the serpent's division and seed of hatred alive, keeping themselves out of the garden of peace.
Y'all don't even trust each other. What makes you think that a Mexican will trust you if you don't even trust your brother? Get your popcorn ready and watch how Mexicans make this work. This comment right here caught my attention. Check it out. I agree, my brother. Forgive them. My people are completely destroyed. The white team man has done a number on us both. We hate our brothers and love our enemies. We that aren't dumb stand with you. I appreciate.
Even the African American man insulted himself for this man. Like what? I can't make this shit up.
This message so much because I know there's a lot of black people that have sympathy, that are hurt for what we Hispanics are going through. Personally, I'm going to be okay, but I have family, I have friends that I love that are going through this. And I don't understand how other people can just laugh and enjoy what we are going through. I've seen other black people saying that we voted.
It's kind of like all the names they have for us. I can open a video called Racist Names for Blacks from the Mexicans. This is why the other day I wrote in a poem, YouTube the Jews and then YouTube the blacks. And you're going to see beautiful holidays, beautiful sanction days, beautiful Judaism. Then you're going to see robbers, killers, thugs, ghetto, homeless ignorants, won't get over slavery. LOL.
Yeah, man. You can't speak for.
Good old Operation Paperclip coming into fruition. And I've been talking about, side note, I've been talking about the Israel flag and how it looks so much like the cross in the American flag. But then I noticed something. Flag of Denmark. Remember those Germanicans? Uh-oh, the cross and the stripes. Now watch this. Flag of Finland. Uh-oh, what does that look like? I'm telling y'all, there's a subtle root of Anglo-Saxons that have been acting really serpenty with their behavior, causing a bunch of other factions. Look up the other ones too, Norway and the rest of them.
Black people saying that we voted him in. You can't speak for all of us. You cannot say that we all Hispanics voted for Trump. That's not right. That's not true. I also want to address the video that I made about Mexicans.
This man is full of shit. He has all types of videos talking about African Americans, just like Candace Owens, just like Nick Fuentes, just like the Hodge twins. Then when it comes back and bites them, like now Nick Fuentes has charges, and now he's a criminal. Yeah, Candace got fired. Now she's an unemployed out here asking for handouts on social media. The Hodge twins went from having fans to being a part of the Nazis and can only get help by pretending to sell trucks and give away trucks. It's going to come back and bite them on the ass.
Not being alone. I said a few things about black people that I shouldn't have. And I want to apologize for that. I know it's not everybody. I know it's not all black people. Because I know a lot of black people that are working hard.
Let me show you how the average American thinks. Watch this. Hold up real quick. Now, they be talking about the Republicans are for us and the lefty dimmies hate us. Dimmies. Watch this. What is minimum wage federally? Watch this. So in the South, and I've had a man from Mississippi up in Masterbrand telling me how he was a correctional officer making almost $750 because of the type of work he was doing. Said all types of dangerous stuff. Came to Illinois and started making $14 an hour. Watch this. Minimum wage in Illinois. And this is in many northern states. $15 an hour. We make double plus an hour then just off minimum. But the lefties are bad. Then they'll say, you good inflation. We can afford all our bills. We can buy more products so our corporations flourish better. Our law enforcement does a better job because they're trained better. They always talk about how they hate Pritzker, but Pritzker and Mendoza and them are doing nothing but trying to fix what these corrupt Republicans did. Do y'all remember this man? Rob Bavoyevich. I don't even know how to spell his name. Hold on. Bavoyevich. I hope I'm spelling that right. He was a Republican. Rob Bavoyevich, I think. He was a Republican, and he gave away a bunch of money. He stole a bunch of money and was robbing children's hospitals and children's care. But y'all hate Pritzker, dude. This is how people act. They get a bone. Oh, I got a job in a pickup truck. Do better. Then when they realize their bone came from the backs of other people, they look real silly. Like all these public roads and all these factories that are already built and all this stuff. I keep telling y'all this famous word, plantation. Right? Southern plantation, what used to exist, right? How they got so rich. Then you have this corporation or corporates. Plantation. Sorry, Google will figure it out. Corporate plantation. You see what I'm saying? Corporate plan. Right? So now people are talking on camera, we're slaves now and it's so hard. Oh, duh. We've been trying to warn people for a long time. A long time. And then every time I hear Republicans talk, or a lot of people, this is what they say. What about the criminals? What about the blacks that shoot themselves? Anytime something political comes up, Hunter Biden. What about Biden? What about Biden? You're black. You can't feel that way. What about the civil rights? Let me show you something real quick. Trump's not a racist. Watch this. Fuck F around and find out. They'll allow Trump to do this. Trump removed MLK Day. Who bothers Martin Luther King? Out of anything that can be done, where's it at? Hold on. Yeah. Trump, you guys can do your own research on this. He tried to sign an executive order to ban Martin Luther King Day, Pride Month, Black History Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm warning y'all, dude. This dude is showing signs of some funny behavior. And I've been warning people for a long time on my videos. So, y'all want to keep fucking around? Or have y'all found out enough yet? It's time to come together and stop this stuff and stop this man. And I'm not talking about through murder. I'm talking about bureaucracy, through the right way, through the American way. Because a lot of people lost their lives in World War II and we was allies with Russia and China. And there's a lot of Nazis in Ukraine while y'all keep talking about Putin. BBC stories about Nazis in Ukraine. Since they want to call Putin a liar. We went in World War II and warred and murdered Nazis. Now they're blaming Putin for attacking Nazis in Ukraine. There's all kind of Nazis out there. Y'all don't know this, though, because the media is propaganda and lying to y'all. Just like how they're talking about Taiwan. We want Taiwan to be a part of the U.S. No, they want to pay Taiwanese prices in their factories, and they want to outsource and cut China out. But it's China's country. That's like if China came to Florida, told them they're going to take over Florida and war America to do it. That's what they're basically doing in Taiwan. So I wish you all would start becoming more aware, because there are a lot of aware people, but our lives are being made hell because people want to keep acting silly. Hello, everybody. So this one's from my one of my favorite guys, Reese Waters. He does a lot of segments talking about this thing, and a lot of MAGA found out they were DEIs, people who needed anything for childcare, all veterans and people with special things, any type of, maybe a veteran lost an arm or a limb and needed special things for other things, you know what I mean, special accommodations and whatnot. We're about to find out.
I don't give two shits that families are being separated if somebody's getting deported. I actually find it hilarious. It gives me a great deal of comfort. I have no sympathy that your child might grow up without a father because he got sent back to Mexico or whatever. I mean, y'all are welcome to go with him. Don't forget that's an option. That's a choice that you're making, right? I don't have any sympathy for your little videos that you're making on social media with all the tears. I don't give a shit. I'm actually fucking laughing at you that you're sitting there crying for attention. Okay. I find you guys to be subhumans. All right. Now, while you're sitting there judging me because I don't care that families are going to be separated from each other, I'd invite you to recall that hundreds of J6ers were separated from their families for something that equates to a little more than a trespassing charge. Where were you then? Okay, bye.
I especially think that's funny. That's hilarious. That's just that's just a part of my thought process. So hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna find something out. Okay, so before I watch this other guy who's just completely debunking how DEI only helps certain people, I wanted to show you what this girl's gonna bring up real quick because it had actually a lot to do with me going to Heartland Community College, and then the steps that I'd have to take if I actually do go to Caspin and actually get my LPN nursing license in the future. And she's going to bring up a very important, point that a lot of people don't seem to think about.
One of the lesser known, most common recipients of DEI is white Republicans. Before you get your panties in a twist, let me explain. As I'm sure you know, the majority of rural Americans vote Republican. And I can tell you this with certainty right now. The biggest state schools in whatever state you reside in have initiatives that give priority to rural students. Vast majority.
Correct, and I'm going to explain why. When I was going to Harlan Community College, sorry, Juannie loves marijuana. When I was going to community college at Heartland, they have it set up to where the people who get accepted first are the people that live within the community or the area, within the area of the town that I was in or city. Now, they also do that with Caspin and Springfield. They first accept Springfield students with priority, and then other students from maybe further away get put on a waiting list. Well, since I'm a lot closer to that area, I may not get the same priority, but then right after the Springfield students, which isn't honestly like too much, then I'm right next in line, so to speak. I do intend on getting my nursing license within my 40s, maybe late 30s, who knows. But what she's bringing up is true. They have all kinds of programs that people are using all the time, and they're just so disrespectful and so sneaky about it. Like you would be surprised at the number of people that have all these great jobs and are doing well, what they have to support themselves and how they get tax benefits and all kind of other programs.
Of students that benefit from those initiatives are white. You don't have to sign up for these programs. It's based off of your address and the county that you live in. Students that are from these counties are also likely receiving a lot more financial aid than the average student.
Correct, because just like how the Department of Education and these schools are funded based on housing taxes, a lot of these rural, suburban Americans who have all the nice corporate jobs have been having a lot of luxuries because of taxes.
If you live in a state that has Appalachian counties, just go ahead and double that. This doesn't just apply to undergraduate institutions. A lot of medical schools do this as well. There's a huge need for people to practice rural medicine, and if you come from a rural county, you're more likely to stay in the area and practice medicine. So they give huge priority to students that are from rural counties. And again, if you're in a state...
Not only that, the nursing homes that are in your town and hospitals do and will pay for, I know for a fact, CNA certifications. And I've heard of them paying for a nursing license. I'm not exactly sure. They'll definitely give you incentives to help you when dealing with nursing. I promise you.
It has Appalachian counties. They're prioritizing that too. The unfortunate reality is that most of these students don't even realize that they are the benefactors of DEI. And so when new students come to apply that come from these rural and or Appalachian counties, they're not going to get to benefit from those same initiatives. And it'll be too late.
And this is why I advocate for education. No matter what I love to do in life, I chose to be in healthcare because I know there is a demand, and a lot of this is something minor, but could be major. There's always going to be a demand in healthcare. Plus, how you see people coming from different countries and getting these like tech jobs and information jobs. And well, when it deals with healthcare, like nursing and CNA and home care and different things like X-ray technicians and different phlebotomists, those are having a demand in those jobs. But the people that are here, it's easier for us to get in. And that's what I've been telling people, that healthcare pays a lot of money if you get in the right positions, especially nursing. They are throwing shifts at people and giving bonuses and everything else.
A lot of you seem to think that DEI is just for minorities and didn't realize that you were also a minority as well.
Anyone out there who can give me one benefit of the DEI movement?
I got you, and you can fact check me on this.
One benefit.
Therapy for veterans, so there's one for you.
One benefit.
Mother's rooms, so when you're a fresh mother and you have to pump your breast for your children.
Give me one benefit.
A caregiver leave, so when a family member is about to pass away and your company says go home, we'll pay you while you see them away.
Give me one benefit.
Paternity leave, so when you're an expectant parent, you can actually spend time with your newborn.
Can give me one benefit.
Disable accessible places and spaces, so think like elevators, wheelchair ramps, handicap stalls in a bathroom, even ergonomic like displays and setups for somebody who might not be able to do day-to-day activities. I have a friend who lost most of the use to his hands and his job requires him to type. So there's a screen program that clocks his eyes and goes to where he needs. So there's an example.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is racist.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna make you more mad, MAGA. I'm gonna make you more mad. How about this one?
When you don't have the best standards in who you're hiring, it means on the one hand, you're not getting the best people in government, but on the other hand, it puts stresses on the people who are already there. We want to hire the best people because we want the best people at air traffic control, and we want...
And so if affirmative action even exists, and the best person for a job is a Hindu, African American, a Hispanic, or any of those colors, but then they give it to a Caucasian American because that's who they feel is the best fit, then y'all just basically benefited off of DEI. Y'all are basically saying we only have jobs because we're color and we're programmed, have a program to do so. But in actuality, just like all these aviation programs that were canceled and all these plane crashes started happening, Trump started to fuck around and find out. I don't understand what's going on. Canceling MLK Day and the Tuskegee Airmen in history. Like, bruh, that's literally envy. You're mad at certain people's accomplishments and now you're trying to cancel it, but saying we're DEI. You're a German grandson of a German immigrant. Trump is a DEI. If his father wasn't given birthright citizenship and he didn't have the programs of roads and the safety of America and being a safe white man in America, he would not have his comforts of the things he have today. If Trump's grandfather didn't benefit from things like Operation Paperclip and his father, then they wouldn't be in the programs they're in today. So it's interesting that an immigrant, they use DEI, and a man whose children are half DEI, apparently the way they talk, and his wife from India, it's very strange, the hypocrisy of mankind at the moment.
First day in the USA. America, land of low taxes. Finally, I'm free of those 40% tax rates in Germany. 1 week in the US. Wow, there's so many different options to choose from. I didn't even know all these brands existed. It's gonna take forever to try them all. 1 month in the US. What? Even sales tax is just 10% here? Saving another 10% in tax just like that. What's wrong with the meat? Tastes like a yoga mat. 6 months in the US.
I've got good news and I've got bad news.
Oh no, what is it?
Well, the bad news is you've got diabetes.
Oh shit. And what's the good news?
Well, you can apply for handicap parking now.
1 year in the US. Yo Mike, I thought my health insurance covers all of my diabetic needs, but I keep getting those invoices. Is that normal?
This is America. Health insurance only works when you're healthy.
That doesn't make any sense. What am I supposed to do? I'm going broke, man.
Oh, do you want to set up a photo shoot?
What are you talking about?
Look, you just gotta start a GoFundMe. A good one needs great pictures.
You're kidding, right?
No, everybody does it.
5 years in the US. I can't do this anymore. I'm moving back to Europe. Well, at least I have my American passport as a memory. 5 years after leaving the USA. Hello? How can I help?
Mr. Miller, you haven't paid your taxes in 5 years.
What do you mean? I moved out of the States like 5 years ago.
So, doesn't mean you don't have to pay taxes to us.
What? That doesn't make any sense. I'm paying taxes here now.
You've got an American passport. That comes with a worldwide tax obligation.
You can't be serious. What if I denounce my citizenship?
Denouncing is going to cost you 20% of your worldwide assets.
Jesus!
Plus, we'll still tax you on income received from American sources for the next 10 years.
This must be a bad dream, right? This is a dream. Wake up! Wake up!
It's not a dream. Pay up, Mr. Mueller.
10 years after leaving the USA. I should have never gotten that American passport. Land of the free, my ass.
You mean our ass.